Hello and welcome to We Could Do It Better. I am Jonah Maple and my co-host Grant Culvin is coming around in just a second. We have a pretty packed episode for you guys. A lot has happened, some reviews. I feel like I've complained about this 2 weeks in a row, but I have been busy.
Hey, you and me both, buddy.
I haven't watched the new Spider-Man show. I haven't read all the comics this week, but you know, there's enough going on.
I feel like it's good that we've got stuff to talk about this week, because last week we ended early because we were kind of stalling for time because there was just, I wanted to fill out the whole hour, but I mean, it was not not as action packed in some of our past episodes. So I'm happy. It looks like we've got a really good episode today. So yeah, we're kind of just figuring out times right now. I'm not super worried about it. I feel like it can be more relaxed. I feel like, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah. So there is a new Superman TV spot out there. I don't know if you've seen that.
Is it so I saw the new shot of Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But then also the one where he's like the face shot of him flying.
Yeah. So there's it's just like a 30-second TV spot. And a lot of it is the same footage from the last trailer. But there is like a new shot of Lex Luthor. He's in like the Arctic and keeps on like looking cool. And then
do we think he's like trying to find Fortress of Solitude? Is that kind of?
I don't know. I'm not gonna try to guess the plot.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And then there's a really cool shot of Superman flying in cord sweats.
Is that what you think? You think it's really cool? I've seen a lot of people make fun of it.
I've seen a lot of people make fun of it too, but it's like the Adam Warlock flying.
That is true. It is very Adam Warlocky.
And I do think, I do, for me those 2 seconds works, but I do think when it is a longer shot, it is going to work more.
Okay, because I've already seen that used in a bunch of memes. I had a friend send me a meme of when he's flying, but from behind, it kind of features it's back of the head and part of the cape in the background, and he's hunched over a toilet because it kind of looks like he's. I've seen some weird. People have done weird stuff.
Okay,
with
but it
Superman
looks the same way that the Adam Warlock flying scene.
No, it does.
And we were all, when that happened, was like, yes, that is how to depict flying.
Right. No, Adam Warlock, there was very little face physics when it came to flying. He was throughout him flying, especially when he's on nowhere. The amount of G's hitting his face should have been. His face should have flapped around.
Well, he's Adam Warlock and it's in space.
Right. So I guess I'm willing to give a little bit more leeway to that Superman look, because it did look funny. It did look a little funny, but I understand that's.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm still. I'm not
crapping on it by any means, but.
I'm still giving this a lot of the benefit of the doubt. Also, literally, at 1:30 when we finished last week, we saw it's not huge news, but there was the first quote unquote set photo,
almost right at 1:30.
I checked the time span for at least on Blue Sky, which is where I saw it. I think you saw it on Instagram. It literally said 1:30, which is when
and I was mad. We're always trying to cover the latest that's happening, and I'm because I'll usually at least open up the news a couple of times throughout this episode, so if there is anything breaking, we can report in on it. And of course, as we were saying goodbye, they decided to post that. So it was this. Did you kind of look into the background? Do you have an idea?
It's super blurry.
I think it's the bar that Woman of Tomorrow starts in. Or not?
Maybe
it kind of looks like the neon.
Are 2 bars
where she's gets into the bar fight with that mushroom head looking dude.
To me, it looked more like the second bar.
Okay,
but also I'm not.
It's a space bar though.
Yeah, there's a space bar.
Wait, space
yeah, sure.
Bar. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm really excited for this.
Yeah.
The fact I can kind of gatekeep this, thanks to you, since you let me the Woman of Tomorrow book over the summer. But I do know kind of exactly what to expect, and I can kind of, be the pretentious nerd that I am and hold this up to the comic book to see if it actually,
Yeah, which it probably won't, but maybe it'll be good. Yeah, we also have a leaked Fantastic Four plot, and I'm going to ask you to, for the sake of me and other people listening, say what you think without saying what the plot is.
Okay, all right, I can do that. So the plot is very much. I'd say I probably nailed 45% about what my previous guess about the plot was.
Okay.
Just slightly under half of what I've said in the past.
Okay.
So a lot of what I said was right. With this being Fantastic Four, there will be some multiversal use, of course. Galactus will be a big part of that. And without... I'm going to throw a word out without any context, and it's imposter. And that's going to be it.
Okay, I'll figure out what that is eventually.
Right. Again, I'm not sure how credible this source is, but I've seen this at least on 3 different pretty reliable sources now, so I have a feeling that it is probably legit. Again, we report on things that you can take with a grain of salt. But this is looking pretty credible, especially with some of the stuff I've seen about, movies that have already come out and how those predictions and leaks have proved to be true. So it makes me think that what I've seen from a couple other outlets is legit. This does kind of I love the Fantastic Four, I love the Fantastic Four. And at the moment, I have always been a bigger fan of the Fantastic Four than Superman. So with this plot leak and what I'm expecting to see from this, my hype might be more towards Fantastic Four than Superman.
Yeah, I mean, mine is the other way. I'm just, more of a DC person.
Right, and I that's kind of our core at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're DC core, I'm Marvel core.
Well, I mean, I've also read way too much X-Men.
Yeah.
But I've read some Fantastic Four stories, like Coming of Galactus and Full Circle and stuff, and I guess Secret Wars. I've read a lot more Superman, and just Superman I think appeals to something like more primal into me. That's just I do want to get more into Fantastic Four, but I also can't just read it for free like I can.
That's true. That's true. Also, according to Geek Tyrant, the Russo brothers, who gave us some bangers from the pre-Endgame era, such as Infinity War and Endgame and Civil War and Winter Soldier, they're reportedly signed on to some X-Men projects after Secret Wars and Doomsday.
Yeah. Which you said that this is by Geek Tyrant,
right? Geek Tyrant posts a lot of.
Usually right.
They're usually right about everything.
Which I think I was not expecting this.
I was.
You think so?
I was expecting this because I think ultimately Kevin Feige still is aware that while I think Marvel is definitely back on the rise after kind of being in a little dip for a little bit, which it wasn't even that big of a dip. I mean, Marvel's dip could have been comparable to the best of the DCU.
Yeah, and they only had one movie that didn't make money.
Right. So I think that this is just Kevin Feige pulling out all the stops and trying to really bring, and I mean that's what you need a very well crafted movie for X-Men. They deserve that well craftedness. And Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame got handled with so much love and care, and the Russo brothers are deep nerds at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm totally on board for this. I'm really excited to see how that is gonna come to fruition. But speaking on that, there are some rumors going around. I saw that Marvel Studios is now in the beginning / middle stages of casting for Gambit.
Okay.
But another casting rumor is Rogue, and I don't know if we kind of touched on this briefly before the show, but there is an actress from Victorious, Liz Giles.
Yeah.
She played Jade, and she is currently being eyed for the position of Rogue. And I feel like I've seen her in other stuff outside of Victorious where she could bring that Southern belle accent.
Yeah, I'm trying to realize.
Yeah, you're doing a little web search right now.
What I know her from. Oh, she was Catwoman in Catwoman Hunted. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think that's the only.
Yeah, so she is. I mean, I didn't know kind of what the idea was, how young these X-Men are going to be, but I think I glanced over at the Wikipedia search that you just did, and I think it said she was 31.
Yeah, which is a little old. She's not even 31 in the comics. She starts off as a 17, 18, and then now it is actually, and now she's probably in her late 20s.
And we look at her, but also if you look at some of the cast from Stranger Things, the guy who plays Steve Harrington is also in his 30s now.
Yeah.
So it's these actors and actresses who are in their 30s, they can still be downplayed, and they can still play roles that are maybe even 10 years younger.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I also feel like Stranger Things is.
You better watch it.
They have a sliding timescale where I don't think that they expected to make it to 4 seasons
They said that it was their entire intention to do 5 seasons.
Okay, but
the writer's strike screwed them over.
Yeah, I bet that they tried that the original plan was to do it to have all 5 seasons in a quicker.
But you had you had COVID, you had a writer's strike, so you had a lot of setbacks. So yeah, and that's no fault to the studio.
And you could definitely tell last season that these actors do not look like the age that they're playing.
Right.
Which I forgive in that thing, but I also think that there are enough talented young people where just I think the reason why you cast Rogue and why you have Rogue is to have her last a long time. So I don't know. I feel like 31-year-old is kind of too old, but who knows? If she's good enough, I liked her in Catwoman Hunted.
Yeah.
That was
and again, this is just a rumor. Nothing is set in stone. I mean, for the longest time, we thought Cillian Murphy was going to be Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday, and that never happened, which would have been still a lot better than RDJ in my opinion. But we're just going to move on.
Yeah. I'm also going to. Yeah. I mean. I feel like we used to say, "Hey, these are the movies that are coming out this weekend."
Yeah.
Back when because I thought that I would be watching more movies than I was because I used to work at a. Well, I mean, I still sometimes do work at a movie theater and get movies for free, but I don't anymore. Yeah. But I am going to see Companion this weekend. It's another A24 horror movie, and the cast
I didn't know it was
A24.
Really
yeah. And yeah, so I'm going to be seeing that, and I should have a review on Wednesday. And I mean, of course, you're welcome to. Yeah. Watch it with me.
Jack Quaid is really making his way up in the world because Jack Quaid is known for his role in The Boys, but he's also going to be in a new movie called Novocaine, I think, and it's kind of Deadpool-esque. I say Deadpool-esque. He's a guy that can't feel pain, so he becomes and he gets wrapped up in a bunch of hero stuff. I've seen the trailer, and it is really gruesome. He sticks his hand in an air fryer and grabs hot boiling stuff and slings it at other people, or he can just get stabbed and he's oh no, it hurts. He is very funny, and he voiced Superman in My Adventures of Superman. Did you know that?
Oh my god, no, I did not. That's cool. Actually, I think I might have heard that. And it's Matt Quaid and Sophie Thatcher. Sophie Thatcher, people might know her from Maxine, Heretic.
She was in Heretic.
The Book of Boba Fett and Yellow Jacket. She was really good. She
was in the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, apparently. She was really good in Yellow Jackets, so I'm excited for that movie. The trailer makes it look really good.
Interesting. All right. Well, moving on, we've got Terrifier 4 in the works, and it's set to be about Art the Clown's origin story. The director posted a picture earlier this morning with a blood-splattered script. And man, it's going to be interesting because at the end of Terrifier 3, I think Art the Clown... Terrifier 3 was kind of like it was a trip, but I'm pretty sure he went like back to hell.
Is he from there?
We don't know. He kind of
Okay.
just showed up in the first Terrifier, tormented some girls. Same thing happened in Terrifier 2 and 3. So, like, I think that's kind of why we're doing it's going to serve as a prequel. So, like, we have no idea where Art the Clown is from. Or, I mean, it's been kind of hinted that he is, like, a demon. But I have no idea, kind of. So, I'm excited, you know, if it'll be the same blood-soaked, action-packed movie that it is. I mean, it's gained a cult following. Like, Terrifier 3 saw some pretty good record numbers. For kind of like that B movie that it, you know, kind of set itself off as. So I'm excited for that. Moving on, we've got Don't Change the Channel.
Yeah.
I was not able to watch 1 and 2 last night, but because I was drowned in homework. But I did watch 1 and 2 this morning.
Of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which I have not seen yet.
Yes.
So I'm going to pass it over to you, and I'll have questions.
I'm going to keep it. There was some... Again, we're going to try not to keep politics out of this, or spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler-free.
But the Hudson Thames, who voices Peter Parker, said something about...
I remember what it was. He said that he was really worried that the show was going to be woke and annoying.
Right.
And he said he was glad that it wasn't. And my response was, woke and annoying are two of my favorite qualities of Peter Parker.
Right. And so it is very good. Like, I do everything that they've chosen, because, like, I do believe that you can go, like, too far one way or another. Like, so I think Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has found a perfect middle. I saw a lot of people were up in arms about race swaps and how Norman and Harry Osborn are black. And
but it's also always kind of weird that they were white with cornrows.
In this day and age, if you see a white person with cornrows, and if you are a white person with cornrows right now listening, I'm so sorry, but like that's kind of not our thing as white people.
Also, I do think it is valuable to point out that Stan Lee, before he died in he died in 2019 or whatever, but in the early 2000s, late 90s, he has said, "Hey, when you adapt my characters, I made too many white characters. When you adapt them, make more of them not white."
Right.
Like specifically, hey, make the characters that I created black. So, if you're disagreeing with Stan Lee, come on.
Right. What I like so far about this is it's everything that I stand for, essentially. So it's like there is representation, but it's not shoving it down your throat.
Okay.
And I love that. I think, and some people might think that it's wokeness trying to get shoved down your throat, and I simply disagree. I think they did it in a tasteful manner where they're like, hey, these types of people exist. And I'm like, yes, they do. And I think it was so well done, and because it was very well done. There was very
is Nico Minoru fun? I like her. She's one of the.
She is fun. She's kind of like the best friend to Peter Parker.
That's cool.
She did make some comment. Peter Parker has a crush in this, because of course he does, and she made some comment about how she's off the market for both of us or something like that. So it's just kind of like a sly little, lesbian, bisexual joke. I'm not sure of her. But it is very good. The first 2 episodes are amazing, spectacular.
Yeah. The art looked really cool.
I was talking to some friends last night, and they said that they did not like the way it looks. I'm like, it literally looks like a moving comic book. How can you not like that.
I especially like the characters because the character designs was made by a comic book artist, Leonardo Romero, who has like a very like kind of real but also like comic booky feel to his characters.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that was cool in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah. Also, this not because this is not tied into the MCU at all. This is an independent story, but for this specific series, it mirrors the MCU a lot. This went out on social media earlier, like I think almost like a week ago. But there was a scene where it was Peter Parker, and it was practically a cartoon recreation of him walking into the apartment with Aunt May, and he's got a piece of scrapped equipment under his arm, and instead of Tony Stark there, it's Norman Osborn.
Ooh.
So, and it does mirror the MCU a lot, which is very interesting. But I've seen the trailer for some upcoming villains. Doc Ock looks amazing.
That I'm excited for.
Like, I'm talking about the square glasses, the funny looking bowl cut that he's got. Like, it's the most accurate Doc Ock that I've maybe ever seen.
I'm telling you, Leonardo Romero, the character designer, knows how to do
right.
this. He did the first 10 issues of Birds of Prey, and he used to like draw Hawk like.
Yeah. No, there's Easter eggs. Easter eggs are everywhere. I mean, the first episode is called Amazing Fantasy.
That's cool.
But after you watch it, I'm gonna have to, maybe we'll do like a little more spoilery breakdown of the first 2 episodes. But like, I am wanting more. There was such a big cliffhanger at the end of episode 2, and it is so. I cannot recommend this enough. It's a blast. It's a blast.
Yeah. We also have news from the DC universe. So a lot of people, including myself, have kind of been like, "Hey, is Clayface dead?" Because towards the end, and this is spoilers, but
this happened a while ago.
This
so
happened a while
catch
ago.
up.
And it's only slight spoilers because he's not one of the main characters. But Clayface kind of gets blown up towards the end of Creature Commandos.
Mm-hmm.
And people have been, and like some people have been like, is Clayface dead? I've been like, my reaction was, I don't know, but also it's Clayface.
Right.
He's hard to get rid of. Like a lot of times, usually if you blow him up, his body just like forms back together and like goes down like a sewer drain.
Exactly.
And, like, he forms. But also like his teeth were kind of just there, and he looked more dead than I've ever seen Clayface look dead, except for the one time
he was still everywhere. Dead. Like Clayface was everywhere. So like there is absolutely a chance that parts of him can, shift back into each other.
Yeah, but he looked as dead as he was when.
But did you read the tweet yet? Or?
Yes,
okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
What I'm saying is he looked as dead as he was in 2018.
You know what?
When Batwoman
Rick Flag Sr. looked really dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
That being said, James Gunn did make a tweet saying someone like literally asked him on Blue Sky, is Clayface dead in the DCU? And James Gunn said the reports of Clayface's death have been greatly exaggerated. He is quite mushy though, which is obviously like a reference to the Mark Twain quote when people were saying that he was dead.
Right. So, clearly Clayface will make his way back into the DCU at some point. I would love to see it. I think, especially with the more fantastical side that James Gunn has taken to this, they can do a pretty good Clayface in the DCU.
Clayface and Man-Bat are my favorite Batman villains. I think that those...
Clayface and who?
Man-Bat.
Okay, Man-Bat.
And
I forgot to tell you. After you're done, I've got news about that.
And I think Clayface is super cinematic. I'm excited for what they do. But also my question is, did James Gunn just... I am curious whether James Gunn just wanted to make the Mark Twain joke, the Mark Twain joke, or if he like genuinely was like, oh my gosh, I messed up. People think Clayface is dead. All right. You got to think about Man-Bat?
Oh my gosh, yes. So he was asked earlier about why some characters from the original Creature Commandos made it in and why some creatures didn't, because like this isn't like the Creature Commandos that we saw they weren't necessarily the original
Yeah.
Creature Commandos, and he actually thought about putting Man-Bat in the Creature Commandos.
That's great. I love Man-Bat.
He wanted to, because he actually said Man-Bat is one of his favorites as well. Like he does. So I think, because I love Man-Bat too. I really do.
I don't trust anyone who Man-Bat is not one of their favorites.
Right. No, like Man-Bat I think is, I mean, did you ever play Arkham Knight?
No.
Okay.
But I've read a lot of comics with Man-Bat.
Well, like Man-Bat. Well, right. No, I was obsessed with Man-Bat when I was like in middle school. Like,
yeah.
I had like a big old action figure with
and like,
wings.
And in Batman the Animated Series, the '90s cartoon,
It's horrifying.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but like, just like there's so like there's so much like pathos to that character too.
Yeah,
this is great.
But he considered Man-Bat. He considered Wolfpack, which I don't. Do you know who Wolfpack is?
I don't think I did.
Wolfpack is essentially GI Robot, but as a werewolf. So he is known for killing Nazis.
Okay, cool.
Which I sense a really awesome team up somewhere in the future with GI Robot and Wolfpack. But he also made reference to Vincent Velcoro, who is actually in the Creature Commandos comic I'm reading right now, who's a vampire. But clearly, Creature Commandos has the potential to have more seasons than just the next one that's been confirmed.
Yeah.
So I would love to see more monsters. He did consider Solomon Grundy too.
I love Grundy.
All of those characters would be great for like season 3 or something.
Okay, actually, I don't know how you do Grundy, but I love I love that his mind is there.
It was actually a toss-up between Solomon Grundy and Eric Frankenstein.
Really?
Yeah.
I see why they would go with Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But also, I love Grundy.
I would love to see a live-action adaptation of Grundy.
Yeah,
oh
he's
have the noose around his neck, like.
Well, like he is like
cool.
He is my favorite.
Solomon Grundy born on a Monday.
Yeah. You have something about Invincible.
Yeah. So I did watch the first 2 seasons of Invincible, and I did like it. There has been little as people I'm obsessed with all things superheroes, and I feel like I should at least talk about Invincible. But I feel like I haven't gotten a whole lot of promotion. Like in the Invincible season 3 comes out in February.
Okay.
And I haven't seen anything about it. I saw a couple of like voice actors that got posted from the Invincible Instagram page, but other than that, like it's been very hush hush. At the end of season 2, Omni-Man, who's pretty much just like an evil version of Superman, which I know you hate.
I know.
Yeah,
but
he kind of like stopped being a bad guy. He's like, I miss my wife, and now the Viltrumites are going to threaten and destroy Earth, or I think they're gonna try to kill Omni-Man now.
Okay.
Which if I can get a free trial and just binge all of it, I'll probably do that. But that's kind of what I've done with the first 2 seasons. So I felt like I just should mention it since we are a superhero show.
Amongst other things.
And you should watch it at some point.
I will. There's also a lot of stuff that are on my docket to watch.
No, of
or
course.
Read.
And I might have mentioned this earlier before, but Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man did get renewed for season 2 and 3, which I have a feeling
that's very early.
Well,
for 3 seasons.
Actually, I heard they're already working on the 2nd season right now, and the 3rd one just got greenlit.
Okay, that's crazy.
Well, hear me out.
Are they even working on X-Men 97?
I bet they're going to do 4 seasons.
Okay.
Freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year.
That's interesting because that's basically what Greg Weisman wanted to do with that was his plans with Spectacular. I mean, it was one season was freshman year. Was one semester junior year, and then semester 2 junior year, and then semester 1 senior year, then semester 2 senior year.
Yeah.
Like that was his plan. He's like, I have a 4-season plan. Maybe we'll do like a college show afterwards, but and then it just got canceled.
Because
So it is interesting that
Insomniac Games did do the post high school Peter and kind of like post college too, and I love exploring that. Like I love exploring the older side of Spider-Man. That's why I love reading Ultimate Spider-Man right now, just to see how you know he's aged and he's grown. But yeah, so I can't wait. I mean, I'm loving Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man so far. So. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get into Game Over. I feel like we're doing really well on time. Like we didn't have to put in time constraints today, but I think we're gonna do. Just fine. So couple weeks ago, I reported about a bunch of leaked X-Men who are supposed to make their way into Marvel Rivals, and then last week, Rivals pretty much sent out a thing saying, hey, we planted a bunch of fake leaks so we could find the leakers and upgrade our security measures, which I
love them for. That's so fun. Like,
right.
That is the kind of effort that I want.
Like, my mind was blown and I was also disappointed because when you saw all those X-Men leaks, I mean, so I'll tell you right now who is still going to make their way into the game and who at least isn't for the foreseeable future. So the people who are going to actually be in here are Ultron, Blade, Jean Grey, Emma Frost, Captain Marvel, Hitmonkey, Angela, The Hood, Valkyrie, MODOK, and Deadpool. All right? The fakes were pretty much the entire X-Men roster, which was Locust, Quicksilver, Cyclops, Professor X, Colossus, Paste Pot Pete, who's actually more of a Fantastic Four villain, which I'm glad Paste Pot Pete isn't going to be. I thought that was a really weird idea. Gambit, Rogue, Nightcrawler, Beast, Jubilee, and Jia Jing.
I think it's so funny that they told us, like, Paste Pot Pete and Jia Jing are going to be, like, in your video game, and people were just like
who is
really?
That?
Okay.
Right. I guess that probably should have been like the first kind of like red flag.
Well, because
like nobody would care about these characters.
Well, but also like Jeff and Luna Snow are in there, so like I think that's why we was like, really? Okay, I guess.
Right.
And I mean, I love Cloak and Dagger, but I also realized like that's like they never have a book and people never care about them.
Right.
But like we felt also there are like a couple things was like really Rogue is like his support, and a couple things is like why would you not have Jubilee as like a duelist already? But yeah, I think it's so fun that they do that. It kind of sucks that they have to, but
well, like now it's just kind of like I was under the impression that we were gonna get an X-Men season for season 2 of Marvel Rivals, and that might be in the toilet. And part of me, I put this down in the doc, is this a double dupe? Are they trying to cover their tracks? Are they trying to tear down the credibility of these leakers to be like, hey, don't listen to these guys. They're stupid and not credible. And are they actually going to end up surprising us? Like, again, I don't care about Jia Jing or Locust or Paste Pot Pete. And I really don't think that that's some of the first characters that they would add to the game. Like, I feel like you've got a much better roster. But I really hope that we get more X-Men. I mean, we are severely lacking X-Men characters in Marvel Rivals.
Well, just because there's so many of them.
Right.
That is like, I don't know. It is hard to just like choose a couple of X-Men.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that this is all fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, but
yeah. So
you also have something about a new Avengers game.
I do. This caused some confusion in our doc because you were thinking of like the like new Avengers.
Yeah. There have been times in which different teams were called, like different Avengers teams were called the New Avengers, not just the Avengers. So I was like,
so I put New Avengers in our doc, and Jen was like, "We're getting a new Avengers." I'm like, "No. We are getting another Avengers game." And I think we've talked about this before on our podcast, but there was an Avengers game that was released 3 or 4 years ago, I think. And I bought it. I was so excited for this. I got the digital deluxe edition, which was like probably like $70 or $80 at the time.
a lot of money.
Yeah. Because I wanted to get everything. I wanted to have all, like, skins, all the chapters that you could play, all that. But it was riddled with microtransactions. Gameplay was incredibly repetitive. Like, you were pretty much going to the same 3 or 4 locations. They added a Black Panther DLC. I think they added a Spider-Man DLC. And it just was awful. But apparently, there's a new Avengers game that's reportedly in development, which should feature at least the 6 from the MCU. Maybe we'll get, like, Wasp or Ant-Man riddled with that.
I always stand by, like, if you're starting, like, an Avengers, like, I think Wasp is more or less essential.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
So,
yeah.
And, yeah.
So, yeah, that's fun. I mean, I hope you... I probably won't end up playing it because I don't play very many, like, story video games.
Yeah.
But I hope that you have fun, and I will, like, check it out.
Well, we also had a freaking Wolverine by Insomniac announced almost 3 years ago, and
that Black Panther Captain America game, which who knows if they're still making.
No, it's coming out this year.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, it's coming out this year. Don't worry about that.
There's also just, like, a Wonder Woman game that they said that they were making in 2020 that we've literally only gotten, like,
we got like a 30-second teaser.
It was not. I don't even think it was 30 seconds. I think it was just, like, a couple seconds.
Because I feel like I saw, like it was, like, highlighting her armor and what she was gonna look like in the game. So, like, you saw her wristbands, you saw the lasso.
Lasso. I love the Lasso of Truth. All right, we're moving on to Comic Corner, and then after that, this is a relatively small Comic Corner because I
only got 2 issues this week.
Yeah, I got more, but I haven't read everything.
We did just get our comics yesterday too, so we've been busy.
So I've read the volume 1 of the Power Fantasy, the first 5 issues. Issue number 6 is coming out next month. And, like, they did 5 issues and then did a break. This is by Kieran Gillen, Casper Wingard. It's some Scandinavian name. I don't know really how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And this book is amazing. I read it, like, I was, reading the news and, like, had to, like, take a break because, like, I'm gonna read this. It's just as heavy. It's about, like, it's one of those, like, what if a nuclear bomb had a soul, but, like, it's like a nuclear arsenal. It's very, very good. The art is fantastic. The story, like the characters feel real, and, like, everything is
it looks really cool.
I don't know, I wrote, like, a review on that, but it's hard to I don't want to say very much without spoiling stuff, because, like, there's stuff that happened in the first issue that, like, is essential to understanding what it's about. But I would just say, if you like the Watchmen, if you like Watchmen, if you like Kingdom Come, this is a definite read. And if you like Kieran Gillen stuff too, which I've read a lot of, like, his X-Men stuff, and he also wrote Eternals for a while. This is definitely worth the read. Definitely worth a pickup. And I think that they still have have a couple copies out at shout out to in downtown Muncie, where we buy all of our comics.
I can't wait to get sponsored by them officially.
Yeah.
I picked up Deadpool number 10 this week. And as you can see, Wade Wilson is back after some weird ritualistic blood sacrifice that his daughter did, where she temporarily died to bring him back. Again, it's Deadpool. It's not that deep. They are back, and now it's kind of a father-daughter crime-fighting duo. Well, I mean, really, they kill people for money, but it's fine. But she was essentially kind of, like, raised by Taskmaster for a little bit. And at one point in Deadpool number 10, she does refer to Deadpool and Taskmaster as her 2 dads, which I think is kind of funny because, I'm sure there's some, joke laced somewhere in there. But yeah, no, they're back, and Taskmaster sends Deadpool and his daughter through some rigorous training exercises because, they both died, and he thinks that they need to get retrained. and get sharpened, I guess, again. And then I did pick up. I wasn't expecting to be this involved with Moon Knight after I wasn't a big fan of a previous run of Moon Knight, the one that actually came just before this one, Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu. But at the end of the third one, the Midnight Mission, which is pretty much just a group of vigilantes that fight crime, they're trying to stop this drug called glitter from hurting the public, and then whoever they're trying to track down kind of turned it around on them, and now they kind of had to go into hiding because the news started reporting in that the Midnight Mission is solely responsible for the distribution of this drug called glitter. So very noir, edge of your seat type thrills. It's still really fun. I haven't read the fourth one yet, so I kind of just recapped the end of the third, but it is very, very well done. I love the high stakes and groundedness because it's not another multiversal story. So, yeah.
I also picked up the Tin Can Society number 4. I'm catching up on that. And then X-Men number 10 and the Superman Lex Luthor special. All of which the art is amazing for, especially these covers. So I'm excited for those. The Lex Luthor special, I've heard a lot of. I wasn't originally going to pick it up, but there was a lot of references by the writer Joshua Williams that this isn't just a throwaway thing. This is part of the ongoing story because there's interesting stuff happening with Lex Luthor in there. It's is he going to because he was becoming a good guy and then he lost his memory and he's more of a good guy now. Yeah. And it's is he going to get his memory back? Also, the art team, Eddie Barrows, Edward Ferreira, and Adriano Lucas is my favorite. Is one of my favorite teams. They've done some stuff I really like with Rise of the Batman and Freedom Fighters. And then. Also, what a cover to X-Men number.
Yeah, that does look really cool.
Yeah.
McKay's been busy.
Ryan Stegman has been killing it on these covers. And then coming up next week, I'm probably going to have a review for the stuff I haven't read yet, but I've got Birds of Prey 18 and Batgirl number 4 and White Boat if it comes in.
And I will wait to see what comics I get because I don't look that far in advance.
Yeah. We also have some announced stuff that's cool. There's a Fantastic Four series that's coming.
Yeah. It's a. Did I forget to? Did I talk about this last week?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I thought I did, but there's a 4-issue run called Fantastic Four Fanfare, but it's kind of going hand in hand with the promotion for Fantastic Four First Steps. And it's going to be a 4-issue series that highlights each member of the Fantastic Four, and it hits shelves May 7th.
Yeah, the first that's when the first issue hits shelves.
The first issue.
Yeah, and they have they're bringing back classic Fantastic Four creators: Jonathan Hickman, Mark Waid, Mark Badley, JMS, Alan Davis, Zdarsky, etc. to return. So that's cool. I might pick some of those up.
Yeah,
especially I love the Thing, so I might pick up the Thing one if it's written because those are some stellar names.
Yeah. No, they are legendary, really. Yeah, I hope some of them get to Comic-Con. I haven't seen. Bagley was at Comic-Con last year, which you didn't know. You were bummed that he wasn't there. He was actually kind of rude. Not gonna lie. But no hate. Maybe he was. Just
Indianapolis Comic-Con, it can be rough. They don't pay their creators like the guests as much as they heard. That's what I've heard. Also, he's probably also saw a lot of fans that day. Probably. He's also on the twilight of his career.
Okay. Yeah. So there's maybe some reason to be a little grumpy. Yeah. So, anyways, we've got a main event.
We do have a main event for the first time this semester. I feel like it's been
a long time.
So the question is, what two canceled or indefinitely postponed projects are we most disappointed we'll never get to see, or that we'll probably never get to see?
Okay,
I have my two. They're both DC. I mean,
I forgot that this isn't just limited to Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess that's also on brand. Actually, you know what? I have a Marvel one.
Well, no. I think you should keep your DC. I'll keep my Marvel.
Okay. Yeah. If we run out of time and need a third.
Yeah. I can come up. I know what my DC pick would be. So are you asking me to pitch
Yeah,
the first one?
yeah, you go first.
I feel like this is an obvious, but let's talk about Blade. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Blade was supposed to release November of 2023? 22?
Yeah.
Something like that? And it's been so long. I mean, it's been 2-3 years, and now eventually I think now Mahershala Ali has pretty much abandoned the project as of right now because he's doing stuff for the new Jurassic World movie.
Yeah, which is because Mahershala Ali is such a phenomenal actor.
Like, that is a huge loss that Marvel Studios is taking. Like
he's been in some really good project, and he's been like the best actor
nominated. Like, he's very talented.
Like I think Green Book probably got like too much, but he was like the good part of that movie.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, and just I heard, like, with all the rewrites and, you know, problems with scheduling and all the conflicts that came with it, I'm like, it shouldn't be hard to make a vampire killing movie. You've got at least a handful of supernatural villains that you can choose from. Some that people may be aware of, some that people may not. And you just have Blade killing vampires. I don't understand what's so wrong. I heard
put Dracula in there.
Put Dracula. Reboot Morbius and let's throw him in there. Like, are you kidding? Like, I know you shrug your shoulders. And like, Morbius was kind of the joke of, it was 2022, right? It was Morbius 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it shouldn't be that hard. Like, I think Dracula would have been an obvious and best first pick. I did hear crap. It left my there's a woman Marvel villain, and she Lilith.
Oh,
Lilith was
yeah,
her
I've
name.
heard of her.
She was kind of the big bad villain in the Midnight Suns video game
Okay.
that came out. It was a card game, and I'm not so much of a card based game player. But like, I heard that she was actually supposed to be the villain for a while. But I'm like, it's not hard to make a Blade movie. It shouldn't be hard to make a Blade movie. And I heard like the first draft had only 5 lackluster fight sequences, and they wanted to make it super artsy and artistic. I'm like, no, don't do that. But yeah, you go next.
My one, I don't know if this is probably the second most. So, Tom King and oh shoot. So the director of the Wrinkle in Time movie from 2018, Ava DuVernay, was writing a script for a New Gods movie with Tom King.
Oh, okay.
And it got scrapped when the new universe, like when James Gunn got out of helm, because they scrapped all of their projects.
Yeah.
So that's my number one. I love the New Gods. I love Jack Kirby stuff. I think that the Wrinkle in Time movie in 2018 was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I obviously am a big fan of a lot of Tom King stuff, especially his stuff that deals with the fourth world and like space. And his space stuff, like his Green Lantern, his Omega Man is good. And like I remember when I first heard him talking. I first heard him talking about it in a podcast like a year ago, and it was like, oh, how did I never hear about this?
Yeah,
this would have like this could have been my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah,
like can you imagine that?
That would have been so cool.
Yeah,
I hate to interrupt, but we do have breaking news.
Oh yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch is clarifying that he actually will be in Avengers Doomsday.
That's weird because he said the exact opposite last time.
Right. According to Entertainment Weekly, he said, "I got that wrong. I am in the next one." And then when asked if he received any sternly worded emails from the secretive team, it's unclear if Cumberbatch is being 100% truthful, as many Marvel stars have lied about their involvement in films, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I don't think you would say, "Hey, I'm in this one," and not be.
Right.
Usually they're like, "I don't know if I'm in this one," or
right.
"I'm not in this one."
But like that's kind of crazy that like that early he's like, "Yeah, I'm in Avengers Doomsday," or "Yeah, I'm not in Avengers Doomsday." But We also have a first look at Oscar Isaac in the first Frankenstein remake from Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, that's cool. I like Oscar Isaac. I like Guillermo del Toro. So that'll be fun.
He's playing Frankenstein.
like
I think the scientist.
Doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll watch that. I need to read the book. I've never read the book.
I haven't either, but I've read like comic book adaptations of it.
Yeah, I have it in my room.
Yeah.
Back in Indianapolis. All right. What's your second?
I'm gonna have to go with Armor Wars.
Armor Wars.
Armor Wars.
I forgot that they were gonna make Armor Wars.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. Well, it's either that or Moon Knight season 2. We'll get. I'll start with Armor Wars, and if we have more time, I'll go into Moon Knight season 2.
Yeah, because I do have a third one.
So like you could because there was always the big struggle of because end of Iron Man 3, he destroyed all his suits, and then he came back in Civil War and had all of it. He's making suits again, and I feel like Justin Hammer could have returned, and I think especially now. There's a political figure right now that embodies Justin Hammer.
Yeah, a couple.
But I'm thinking of like a guy that's, and I feel like Marvel is very good at being slightly political in the right ways.
I have
feel
more
like
complicated
if you have a Justin Hammer type figure and that kind of mocks some people, I think that would be kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, in Iron Man 2 very much was already making fun of the military-industrial complex.
Right.
And like, those problems still have pertained today. Like, and that's cool. Do you think if they did Armor Wars, do you think that they would bring Stiltman?
I do not.
You don't?
I don't think.
Dang, I love Stiltman.
I think if James Gunn was doing it, he would. But otherwise, I do not think that Stiltman would make his appearance in there at all. But like Don Cheadle was supposed to return as War Machine, and I feel like especially after the dupe, after we found out that he was actually a Skrull for a while,
but we don't know how long.
It was implied after he got his legs after Civil War.
Okay.
When he was taken into recovery, he got swapped.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, and just to have like the original Rhodey back in action, doing something like, I think it's also probably contingent on the success of Captain America: Brave New World, because Armor Wars could be very spy thriller.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That would have been a cool movie to see, and I think
it would have been a show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes more sense. My second choice is I might have mentioned this before, but J.J. Abrams and John Ridley did. I mean, everyone knows who J.J. Abrams is, but John Ridley, if you don't know, he writes comic books like American Way and wrote I Am Batman, but also he writes screenplays like 12 Years a Slave. And he is a very good writer and was working on a supposedly on a Superman movie with Michael B. Jordan as Superman, and a lot of people assumed, oh, so you're making President Superman?
Yeah.
And a President Superman movie made written by John Ridley, directed by J.J. Abrams, would have been like the dream I didn't even know was possible. And I understand, because like J.J. Abrams probably is like a hard talent to get down, and he might have felt like, oh, I don't want to work with these big, like, his experience with Lucasfilm Disney might have dismayed him, especially with like the third movie, which like, your problems with the sequel trilogy are not all J.J. Abrams' fault.
Yeah,
they're not all Kathleen Kennedy's fault. They're not Rian Johnson's fault. I think J.J. Abrams did an okay job. He was hampered by timelines and weird management.
Yeah.
But like John Ridley and Michael B. Jordan are phenomenal enough where it's just like, this could have been the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Which it technically hasn't been canceled, but but it's also not being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Like John Ridley is working on a lot of other things. J.J. Abrams is working on other things. Michael B. Jordan is also doing other things.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to keep this brief so you can do your third one too. But Batgirl.
Oh yeah, they
Screw Warner Brothers for not giving us Batgirl. I don't care if it was gonna be worse than Batman vs Superman or the Justice League. I wanted to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly badly. Have you seen the photos? I just did a quick search.
Well, I haven't seen the photos of Brendan Fraser as Firefly, but I've seen the photos as her as. That's so. I love Firefly. Firefly might be like one of my top villains, and Brendan Fraser is really good.
I know, and it like upsets me that we didn't get to see that happen.
Yeah,
but
and they made the movie,
and like Michael Keaton was gonna be Batman. He was gonna return as Batman too. You were gonna have so like I think they're cowards. I think they're cowards for not giving us Batgirl.
I hope one day
for tax write-offs. I think that was at the end of their reason.
There's also some corporate politics stuff and maybe some cultural stuff that we don't know all of, and I'm not gonna get into because I don't know everything that's going on there.
Yeah,
but I hope one day, kind of like the old '90s Fantastic Four movie, like someone gets to make a reboot, like a bootleg of it. Like, I hope someday. I mean, stealing isn't good, but like when you make a piece of art and just like say no one can see this because I want a tax write-off, I think that's like
greedy.
I think that's greedy. I hope someday they either release it to streaming or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my third one is Brian Michael Bendis was writing a Rogue movie back in the mid-2010s. Brian Michael Bendis, if you don't know, one of the biggest Marvel writers of all time. New Avengers.
Man.
He wrote Ultimate Spider-Man, created Miles Morales.
So that would have probably been in the Fox universe.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think it would have been from. Actually, I forget.
Well, I mean, Marvel just acquired X-Men rights a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think. I think this was around 2015 as he was like kind of like leaving Marvel. But I mean, I don't know how much of it is just like Fox internal politics, but also or just like Brian Michael Bendis got busy with family and he's a professor now.
That would have been so cool. That would have
been, Brian Michael Bendis, like I'm not a fan. Like he can be hit or miss, but on the whole, he's had like enough like powers, and Jessica Jones and his Ultimate Spider-Man is good enough where it's just like this could have been amazing.
We do need more comic book writers in the seats of screenwriters as well.
Yeah, because a lot of them have screenwriting experience, or at least like
training.
Yeah, like Gail Simone has written like teleplays, like Josie Campo writes. Like a lot of them like can do this, and so far the only one that's really been picked to like write is Tom King,
right?
Which I have I like a lot of his stuff, but I'm like, really, that's the one?
Well, I mean, I feel like he is one of the most noteworthy DC writers.
Yeah, but he's also like the most controversial.
Well, sure. But still, like, I'm just kind of like, if you get big of a name as Tom King, like, and we say big as a name, but probably the average person listening to this is like, who?
But once again, still a smaller name than like Chris, small, so a much smaller name than like Bendis or like even like Hickman or like Claremont. I think Claremont back in the day.
Claremont and Hickman are probably like the big.
Yeah, well, because Claremont wrote a script treatment for an X-Men movie at some point, and they're just like, no, we don't want to do that. And I was like, really, like that's the Godfather of X-Men. That's neither here nor there.
Right.
It is now 1:29, so we're gonna sign off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess no. I'm glad we had a main event this week. I mean, do we have how much time do we got left? How much more can I? We got 30 seconds left.
Yeah,
we're good.
Thank you everyone for listening to us. This has been season 2, episode 4. We could do it better. I forgot.
I'm also excited to cover more Brave New World stuff. I saw some stuff earlier today about Brave New World that I was not able to get to put on this doc. So with maybe more TV spots and special looks, maybe we'll be able to cover that more next week. But yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll be back here, 91.3 WCRD. We could do it better.
Stay safe, everyone. Have a good week.
All right, bye.